Hey everyone, Pupsker here. It's been about 2 weeks now, and Warframe Isleweaver Operation 8 Claw has been out for that entire time. Not bad, not bad. And at this point, I'm just kind of curious if people actually like Isleweaver or if people hate Isleweaver, because dear God, I've been seeing so many people posting online that they absolutely hate that we got another Duviri update. They cannot stand that we got more Duviri. I did not realize people hate Duviri in Warframe as much as they do. But I think that there's just so many people that hate every individual update. Like, there's a big group of people that really hate every big individual update. Like, people really hated Railjack, but that's understandable. I hated that shit too. It was just broken, buggy, and not fun. People hated Duviri. People hate Nightwave. People hate the Zeramin. I think, like, no matter what, a good amount of people just hate any update. But the hate for Duviri Isleweaver this time around has been pretty aggressive, so I feel like people dislike this update more than average. So let's talk about it one by one and actually see what do people hate about Isleweaver, the actual update, and everything one by one. So Isleweaver itself is just straight up one Duviri game mode that lasts 15 to 25 minutes, depending if you're running Steel Path, regular, normal mode, etc. You can get a small amount of Duviri resources, but you cannot get a large amount of Duviri resources. It plays like the lone story, right? You go in, you do your 6 missions, you get out. There's no point or availability for you to actually farm additional decrees in levels, but you can just continually keep running the mission, get more loot each time, and just go from there. So it doesn't have an endless game mode. It's just a 15 to 25 Duviri tile set, and it's really pretty, right? It is Duviri with Warframes, as you can see. Very beautiful all the way over there. You just go from area to area, doing whatever objectives it asks you, the same as Lone Story and Duviri. Kill the enemies, fight everything. It has 2 bosses, and I know a lot of people kind of dislike that. People have been calling Isleweaver really lazy because it just reuses Murmur enemies. It just reuses the Fragmented Tide. The only real new enemy boss type of thing is Oraxia, so I get it. People are a little tilted on that a little bit. I don't personally mind. I like double Fragmented Tide. I like Oraxia. But I can totally understand people not liking that this is just straight up not really super original from Warframe, but it's still a mainline update. I think that's a little goofy because you have to expect Warframe to touch up and revisit old but still relevant updates, so I don't know. There's a lot of discussion around that. Mainly also because, yeah, it's pretty much the same 6 things every time. There's not a lot, exactly. There's definitely not a lot of diversity in Isleweaver compared to regular Duviri. You just straight up run the same 6 missions every time. No matter what, you're always fighting Oraxia, and the Fragmented Tide is 2 separate bosses. And no matter what, you're pretty much doing either Luminous fights or looking around for blue orbs or shooting blue orbs towards each other. So yeah, people don't love the lack of difference between each round. Because usually Duviri, you're going to be like, oh, there's going to be differences, but not really. The variety of decrees that you can also get in Isleweaver is much lower compared to regular Warframe. So you're pretty much just looking for damage every time. You're like, okay, take shots, damage shots, corrosive damage, cold damage shots, extra damage. Or if you're doing more of a melee build, you're like, okay, melee this, melee that. Except you're actively kind of decentivized from doing a full melee build because of all of the bosses and enemies that fly up in the air and run away and stick to the wall. Oraxia. The game is kind of shoving you into no matter what, picking range decrees because all the bosses keep running away. So I don't know, the diversity is really bad because here, melee attacks hit twice as awesome, but I don't want that. So I'd either want deal damage affected by cold or more magazine and electric damage for my capacity. In this case, I'll take the damage. I think I have some cold already, but if not, I'll get more cold. So yeah, a lot of people just don't really like that. So I'm kind of curious what everyone else thinks. As always, let me know. Smash that like button or not, it's up to you. It always helps out. And we'll continue on talking about this update. People are also a little annoyed about Operation Isleweaver. I think understandably so. People are getting tired of the same rewards for 5 years straight, okay? Warframe needs to occupy people's times with better reward shops. They can't continually keep doing Eidolon Arcanes for 4 years in a row and think people still care. I know Arcane Energize, Grace, Barrier, I know those are rare arcanes and they're hard to get for a lot of mid to new players, and I'm totally down with Warframe continually adding them to the event shots, but I think Warframe needs to add more to the event shops is the issue. Like, if they want to have all the Eidolon Arcanes for every event shop till the end of time, sick. Throw in other shit, not just 100 Pothos Clamps. Like, people need more resource dumps that isn't just a random Prominence Wisp Totem at the end, you know? After you do a certain amount of the new update, you lose all real reason to continue playing the update. And that's totally a big problem with the operation, which requires people to continually farm the goddamn operation and hand in their currency. If nobody has a good reason to farm the operation, why would they farm the operation? Either way, it seems like Warframe grossly miscalculated how many people might want to play this update, but they've also possibly been tweaking it in the background to make progress faster. We'll never truly know, and we're probably gonna end up getting that third Signa anyways, so that's not really a big deal. It's just weird, man. It's just weird, okay? Operation 8-Claw, it's fun, but it's like the same as Belly of the Beast. It's the same as everything. It's an event which is just run the mission over and over like you were gonna do anyways, so it's like a free gimme event because it's a new update, and you get some free loot. If you sell some of the loot in maybe like half a year to a year, you can probably get a good amount of platinum. But I think we had the rerun of Belly of the Beast just like 6 months ago or so, right? In January, people were saying. Totally forgot that was the thing. So a lot of people are already heavily stocked up on Eidolon Arcanes as it is. So I don't know, man. This may have just been a weirdly timed event, but I get it. Warframe should really have just added more resources to the shop. If they just add like 10 Forma, they add some repeatable Kuva, relic packs, right? They need to add the usual stuff, more buffs, arcane, amp adapters, whatever you feel like. They need a little bit of everything. Just throw on those buffs, you know? They don't have to put like a limit of 10 on, let's say, arcane adapters or Exilus adapters, but they could include at least a handful, like 5, 3 of each, make them maybe cost more than just one run, have your little bit more expensive resources, just so at least people have a reason to continually farming Operation 8-Claw. But as of right now, spending all of the currency, Dominus Eris currency, on just nothing, it feels like shit. And that's the same with Isleweaver. There is not a single repeatable item to buy in the base Isleweaver shop outside of once you purchase the weapons and Warframes in the Captura scene. So, yeah, Warframe could really do better there, because once this update's gone, I have zero reason to ever run this new update again. Like, Isleweaver was cool, but it is now functionally dead content because there's no good reason to run it. So they really need to put in some weekly repeatables in every Warframe shop, or else that update quickly becomes dead content. Because why would people ever run Isleweaver again? If people just want to run regular Duviri, if people really like Isleweaver, sure, but, you know, there's not huge reasons to run it again. So with Isleweaver and Operation 8-Claw, yeah, it'd be nice if they fix that, but hey, whoever knows. Now let's talk a little bit about Oraxia herself, the Warframe. I think they did a decent job with Oraxia, but I don't think she's a perfect loved Warframe for me. So Oraxia is a toxic Warframe, and with Archon continuity, you can throw a lot of corrosive on people. So already she's a pretty strong Warframe. She has damage vulnerability buffs that she can give when she throws webs. She has little spider crits, little spider critters on her little venom shot. She has a great first ability, which is an execution and a health and energy orb acquirer. So that's a great ability already, because you can functionally try to stay infinite health and energy. And then her fourth ability is like a damage buff, health buff. You can swing around with webs. But on her fourth ability, you cannot use melee weapons. Your melee is replaced with your first ability. And I actually just straight up hate that. I wish that when I was in Oraxia's spider mode, I could kill enemies with like my weapons, you know, my war and my broken war. But Oraxia, as of right now, it looks like she is a guns and execution platform for Warframe. So she is a pretty self-sufficient frame that is really good with executions, really good with shooting guns and doing increased damage with guns and hitting enemies with a lot of boosted damage on toxin and shit like that. So she's really good, but if you're looking for a melee frame, she's dead. She is dead to you. She is not a melee frame. She's an execution and gun boosting frame, okay? And in like damage vulnerability. But she does not inherently use base melee. So don't do that. Just don't use base melee and you're probably gonna be good to go. But if you're looking for a Warframe that specializes in straight up like melee, probably not the Warframe to use, okay? Probably not the Warframe to use. You'd want to go something like Kurlevo, okay? You'd want to go something like, I don't know, Grendel, melee or roll around. But Oraxia is a good frame. I think she's like solid depending on how you like her, a 7 to 9 out of 10 for most people. And I think she does well. I think for me, she's like a 7 to 8 out of 10 frame. Like, I like her, she's cool. She could definitely be cooler, but I like her as a toxin frame, so I'll still use her here and there. And I threw Forma on her. I have a strong build. She's usably nice still, so I do like her. Definitely not going to be a main frame or anything, though, so keep that in mind. Now, the weapons of Warframe. Oh, God. Warframe broke some stuff, okay? Warframe definitely broke some stuff. On this update, there are essentially, I think, 3 new weapons. We have the Thallus Incarnate melee weapon. We have the Spinnerix secondary, like, web shooters. Yeah, the third weapon I couldn't think about because I barely used it is like the Spinnerix. It is Isleweaver Oraxia's signature melee weapon, I believe. So this update actually brought 2 melee weapons and a secondary, which is kind of interesting, okay? I do think the weapons are a little lackluster. The Incarnate melee weapon is just straight up broken. The Skyatid secondary, it's a pretty interesting weapon, but it's like pretty weak by default. You really need to throw some good Forma in that to make it a pretty strong weapon. But it has a good gimmick of doing an AoE pull-in and really killing a lot of enemies with that. So I kind of like it. I think it's a cool niche weapon that it can do pretty well once you form it in most content. So yeah, I would vote pretty highly on it still, to be honest. So would use again. And maybe I'll mess around with it more. The Spinnerix is an interesting melee weapon, but I just haven't put enough time into it. I think the gimmick on that is it stacks up toxin damage, and then enemies you kill, it bursts it up and then goes to the other enemy. Or maybe that's the Skyatid. No, I don't know. They have some weird abilities, so I gotta try to remember what they actually do half the time. But the weapons overall are decent and they're strong enough. The issue is the like Thallus, the Incarnate melee. It is strong, but it's just broken right now. Incarnate evolutions are broken on it, so people weren't able to, and might still not fully be able to, upgrade the evolutions. I think they fixed that by now, but it was totally broken. Where weapons as well for the Thallus, it just wasn't doing damage. I think it was getting bugs where it was doing flat 23 damage or something like that. So this update's incredibly broken in that regard, okay? So yeah, those are the weapons there. While I do think they're interesting, they're just similar, more of the same in Warframe. I think the most interesting weapon when it fully becomes usable and cool will probably be the Incarnate melee, and then the secondary web shooters, the like Skyatid. I think the Spinnerix is kind of just primarily another melee weapon, so I don't find that thing really, really interesting. So, oh well. The game had a lot of reworks, mainly with the star chart rework. That's the main one I want to bring up, just like general quality of life reworks. It is now easier and better for people to run junctions across the star chart. The junction quests have been updated, and hopefully that just makes everything better for people. You'll have a little bit of a better time early on, I believe, farming through the star chart because of the new junction missions, and they should lead you to more relevant resource loot and things that'll make you stronger instead of like wasting your time, I think. Either way, like there's generally good reworks this update. There's really not too much to say about that. It's just Warframe updated some things, reworked some stuff. So hopefully if you notice anything in the game, it's a lot nicer. They've always, every update, done quality of life reworks, changes like that. So it's always good that we get some stuff. Either way, good reworks this update. I generally don't have too much to say about that because I wanted to talk about Captain Vor rework update specifically. Captain Vor is now a new updated boss. It's still Captain Vor and like Steel Path Corrupted Vor, but they made it a little bit more interesting. If you run Corrupted Vor on Steel Path, you now get a handful of arcanes. There's like a 6 arcane loot pool that you get from Steel Path Corrupted Vor. And I would recommend, if people plan to run it, like, go for it. You can get some good arcanes. It's not a bad idea, right? Like, yeah. So I'm all for it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's really cool. It's nice that people can get arcanes running Captain Vor. And they also added hard mode optional Captain Vor, right? Like Yanis Captain Vor, the Janus sequence. So hard mode Corrupted Vor, I can't speak, is purely activated by using the like Orcan glyph tile right before the boss, and you just straight up fill it out and then kill the boss. It's the same every time, so I might do a full video on that just talking about it, but it's a pretty simple concept overall. The boss itself is a huge pain in the butt because it's a corrupted hard mode boss, so does a lot of damage. You do well to use a really strong weapon like the Latum against corrupted Janus or hard mode Corrupted Vor. But yeah, really high damage weapons are definitely recommended. Other than that, you just kill the boss. And if you kill it solo, I think with 6 different Warframes, you can get their unique custom glyphs for doing solo hard mode Yanis sequence Corrupted Vor. Obviously, all of that takes a lot of time. God, I can't speak. So that's fun. But once you do that, if you enjoy doing that, nice. You'll get a lot of relics. You'll get a lot of arcanes, and hopefully you can max out some stuff. So I think hard mode Corrupted Vor was a good addition to the game, all things considered, right? Like, I'm not mad. I think they did a good job. Okay, so good job, Warframe. You added hard mode Corrupted Vor. Very proud. 10 out of 10 would hard mode Corrupted Vor again. If you've already played through the game, the only real reason to run hard mode Corrupted Vor is if you want to farm some of those arcanes that they added to his pool, or if you just want to check it out, get the new glyphs on hard mode Steel Path, and go from there. So it's cool that they reworked it, and the boss fight's nice now. But if you're a longer term player, there's just not a huge reason to continue fighting an old boss. But that's pretty common, so not like a big deal. And then last but not least, everybody, is just the bugs and everything of Isleweaver. Oh god, the bugs! Isleweaver has so many bugs. There have been a good handful of bugs where just like people can't progress. There's been a good handful of bugs on the weapons, on the Warframe itself. I even forgot to mention, there's been Oraxia bugs where like she doesn't do damage, like toxin damage, or she doesn't apply damage properly, and I think they fixed some of that now, but this update has been so buggy, it's been just a little depressing, okay? Just a little depressing. They broke the Warframe, the Thallus broke, people weren't able to get evolution like 4 or 5, that might be fixed now. It's not doing proper damage. Like, what did they do this update? That's insane. Warframe better get a Soulframe done a lot faster, or else Warframe's gonna be known as the buggiest game known to man, because god damn is the game breaking right now. Like, the game is just straight up unplayable for some people sometimes these days, and it's a little depressing. My issues are like all the progression stop bugs, sometimes like the artifact scholar items just wouldn't spawn. After the first handful of hotfixes, I haven't gotten progress locked too many times, but it still has happened every day here and there where the mission just refuses to progress. We get locked on like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th mission, and there's no objective that spawns, and then we have to Alt F4 out of the game, and it never fixes, so we give up on that Duviri. That's probably one of the bigger, most annoying bugs that these updates have. It's just unplayable. Progress stops, right? So yeah, that's kind of how this update's going, man. It's good, it's fun, but like, holy shit, it's so buggy. Every part of main content in this update has been bugged out almost. Like every weapon almost. No, half the weapons, right? No, I should say Oraxia and the Incarnate weapon have been incredibly buggy, right? The game modes itself has been buggy. Some of the fixes. I think some people were unable to progress through some of the junctions for a bit, and they also broke playability on some of the other quests for a bit, so this update's just been like killer for people who are looking for certain progress areas, right? Luckily, they fixed most of those big bugs now, but I just had to bring it up. It's really shitty when you start a new update, and every time in Warframe, you get shafted with all the bugs, man. And I feel a little bad for all the players. But hey, we're getting there, okay? Half the time I think the game's bugged out and the objective isn't progressing. It's actually just the Grendel in my squad who hate the people who need to kill to progress. That's also an issue. Yeah, Grendel can eat the shadows, the Limnus shadows, and if he doesn't spit them out, he progress stops the game until he spits them out. So, yeah, Warframe has some issues. People were complaining too about some game performance. I haven't seen a ton of issues with people, but that's always a problem. Either way, let me know if you overall think the update's good or bad, if you like it, if you hate it, etc. and so forth. As always, making videos on YouTube, streaming on Twitch, YouTube sometimes, and just online on the social medias. So appreciate everyone following, subbing, and liking. Cheers, cheers.